This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Hey, good morning. It is Monday, rise and shine, and boy, is it a good day to rise and shine. Hey, temperatures are looking much warmer, much more on the comfortable side here for your Monday. That's the biggest weather headline I have here to start out this work week. We'll dive into that a lot further on in just a moment. But hey, let me introduce myself again. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. Thank you very much for joining us here for the day today on the First Alert Weather Breakdown here for your Monday. I want to give a quick note to last week's Weather Breakdown podcast that we had going here from 10:30 every single day. From last work week. I was only on one podcast. I don't remember the last time I've only been on one podcast for the weather breakdown per week in a while. So I just want to give thanks to both CJ Cartledge and meteorologist CJ Cartledge and Jake Lambright for really taking the saddle up on the weather podcast here over the last week or two. You will still see them on here throughout this week, but I got a lot more podcasts ahead for me this coming work week here for you. But today is Monday. I am in the saddle here for you. It is a warmer day for the day today, and that's, again, the biggest change in pace. Not only is this impressive here on a short-term note, but we haven't seen temperatures this warm, what we're getting up to here for the day today. We haven't seen temperatures this warm in about 2 weeks. We've been in the tundra. Obviously, the big winter storm coming in 2 weekends ago. It was still cold throughout most of last week here for the most part, which still left all of that wintry precip on the ground. But if anything's still out there, which I've seen still some trace amounts, especially in my apartment complex, trace amounts of little tiny winter precip, a little bit of a patch of ice, that should be gone throughout the end of today, hopefully, with temperatures, yes, reaching above 60 degrees. Kind of reminds me of what we had during Christmas week and during the first week of January. Not only do we have temperatures up and above 60 degrees, but that's a part of most of our forecasts rolling on by in the process as well. In addition to that, though, we have another headline here for you coming tomorrow. Rain returns here for your Tuesday for the first time since the winter storm, basically 2 weekends ago. We have a major chance of precipitation coming along here for your Tuesday. We will keep you weather aware about that in our latest long forecast here for you on the First Alert Weather Breakdown, in addition to warming up. So thankfully, all that precipitation here for tomorrow is only going to be rain. I do want to stress that out, and I'll probably stress that out too many times to not get your nerves up, get you at ease here for the day tomorrow. It's going to be fine. It will be all right. Meanwhile, your exclusive content for the day today dives into Groundhog's Day. Hey, I forget his actual name. Fuxatani Phil, I think I'm saying that correctly. The point is, Phil, he's from Puxatawny, Pennsylvania. I think that's how you pronounce it. I have a full slide and a full rundown that I set up a little while earlier, but I forgot about the pronunciation of it now. Anyways, the point is, the Groundhog, fellow meteorologist, he's not the most accurate. We're going to dive into kind of some facts and some history behind Groundhog's Day. By the way, if you did miss it here earlier this morning, he did see his shadow, which further entails we do have 6 more weeks of winter. But I don't think he's looked at our forecast recently because, again, we are trending in the complete opposite direction. I'm looking forward to maybe an early spring coming along, and you might feel that out the door, again, just by stepping out here for this afternoon. Let's take a live look into our Winter World Sky Cam and get your full weather forecast kick-started here on the First Alert Weather Breakdown here for you. So, a nice live look into, I was going to say downtown Texarkana. This camera is kind of just on the outskirts of Texarkana, looking out on that camera there for you. Bright, beautiful blue skies and sunshine aplenty all around the northern end of the Arklatex, but I mean, that's found anywhere around the Arklatex for that matter. Nice roadways, I will say, again, on our John Harvey Toyota Sky Cam in Bossier City. Plentiful, again, sunshine that is going to be warming us up here for the day today. That's our biggest headline, for Monday alone. Again, we had highs this weekend down in the 30s and 40s. But today, it's stretched up above 60 degrees. This is a huge temperature warm-up just from yesterday alone. Then for tomorrow, storms are back. It's mostly just, again, it's first of all, only in the form of rain And I'm not too concerned about this round of storms coming on by. I think you do get rain. I don't think you get severe weather, which is good. Tomorrow is not a first alert weather day by any means. Then for the second half of the work week, we do have plenty of sunshine carrying on through and maybe some slightly cooler temperatures. Even though we're massively warming up into this day alone, we actually do have a little cool down as we settle on further and further into this work week for you ahead. But guess what? These are the current temperatures out and about right now. And this is what we're going to continue to keep you first alert and tracking here throughout the entirety of your Monday. It is the current temps. First of all, we did not even touch 50 degrees over the weekend at all. It is 10:30, and most of the temperatures are now in the lower 50s. 52 into Shreveport, 53 into Marshall. Got the upper 40s into Texarkana and Idabel, even maybe some 30s still in areas of the Queen, but I think you get the point. Most of us are going to be warming up a good bit here for the day today, and we'll continue to do so. By lunchtime, we could get up at above 60, and yes, those are high temperatures peaking in the mid to upper 60s here for the afternoon. We'll take a look at that thoroughly here in just a moment, but let's get you the kind of temperature outlook here throughout this work week. We are jumpstarting ourselves into very warm temperatures here throughout the Arklatex and throughout most areas around us regionally as well. For the first time in a while, again, warmer than average temperatures. To be fair, that's a little brief because that continues at least into tomorrow. But then the cold front hits during the day tomorrow, leading into that cold air packing in behind in time for Wednesday and Thursday. It's not going to be a huge cool down, though. You can see most of the Arctic air and the colder temperatures are going to be staying further off to our east. That's indicated in the cooler than average temperatures out in the states of Mississippi and Alabama. The point is, this doesn't really come into the Arklatex. So essentially, we're getting just clipped by a cold front. That will cool things down, don't get me wrong. It just doesn't give us an Arctic cold blast by any means here into the middle of this work week. And in time, case in point, we're going to quickly warm things back on up to warmer than average temperatures in time for Friday and the weekend. Certainly, hey, this weekend, it's looking good. Crew of Centaur, that's rolling here locally in town here for Shreveport on Saturday. That is going to be fantastic to get out to for that time. All right, so highs today, though. Again, we haven't seen temperatures this warm in quite literally 2 weeks. 66 into Texarkana, 66 in New Boston, 66 in Atlanta, 66 into DeKalb, 66 in Carthage, Center, Marshall, Longview, Gilmer. I think you get the point. Mid to maybe upper 60s here for the day today. 67 locally into Shreveport here for this afternoon. Now, next 5 days, let's check out that cool down here for you. The highs still get up to around the mid-60s here for tomorrow. Also on your Tuesday. But then the cold air funnels on in, and we're down to highs limited only into the 50s here for the middle of this week on Wednesday and Thursday. But if you do notice, look at Friday, though. After we're done with kind of that cold air supply from that cold front on Wednesday and Thursday, highs back to rapidly rising again. And in fact, unlike Monday and Tuesday, where we still kind of are in the 60s, we could reach temperatures, yes, above 70 degrees in time for Friday and also this weekend. That's going to be really impressive. Now, let's talk on to the actual cold front itself with the storms, because we do want to keep your weather aware, though we still have to get through a round of storms to obviously get to that point. This is going to be your one rainy day out of the entire work week. It is all going to come tomorrow. Just so you know, the entire rest of the 7-day forecast, bone dry, with the exception of tomorrow on Tuesday. So today, looking lovely. Tomorrow, got a round of storms. But as you can see on that kind of vague future track here for you, it's not going to look like an impressive system. It's going to give us rain. Don't get me wrong. You will get rained on here at some point of your Tuesday. But thankfully, no severe weather threat at all. This is not bringing us, again, a big cool down. As you just saw in that temperature outlook, we're cooling things off by a solid 10 degrees. We're going from the 60s to the 50s for high temperatures. Again, this comes through, excuse me. My goodness. So, yes, no severe weather threat, and I will stress this again. It is rain only. No snow, no freezing rain, none of that. And from the system here, that's going to be hitting here for your Tuesday. So let's check onto the future track here for you again. Rest of Monday, it's looking fine. Plenty of sunshine. If anything that you see during the daytime, it's if you're going to see anything during the time itself, it's maybe a little more cloud cover towards sunset here tonight, but I think you're fine here for the most part, all the way through 6, 7 p.m. Again, clouds are going to be building up overnight. That's going to actually provide us with a warmer morning tomorrow morning. We didn't really talk too much about that. Just, morning temperatures tomorrow are off in the 40s and 50s, so not nearly as warm or not nearly as cold. And that's why that limits most of our precipitation into pretty much rain only here for you throughout your Tuesday. So it starts early tomorrow morning. It's essentially even if you wake up at 4, 5 a.m., if you're one of those early risers, you still are probably going to see scattered showers from head to toe around the Arklatex, from DeQueen all the way down to Nacogdoches and Natchitoches here for the very start to our Tuesday. So it starts out as very light drizzle, light rain pockets, essentially in the early morning hours, in the early commute. But once the actual day gets itself going and we start getting some daytime heating going, that's where you can find some more pockets of moderate to heavy rainfall kind of trickling in as we get the daytime going. That's the picture around 10 a.m. Still scattered storms set up, especially in areas along and south of I-20. So this is going to be hitting us again, essentially mostly during the morning hours. Once you get into lunchtime, that's when we start to see the coverage dropping. But even then, we're still looking at a line of showers and storms still scraping across the southern edge of the Arklatex only for the afternoon hours. And that's when you could see more pockets of heavier rainfall, especially down in the southern edge of the Arklatex, moving down towards Alexandria. Probably more towards the afternoon and evening hours of your Tuesday. Then we all collectively around the region dry out throughout Wednesday, and it's going to be a beautiful Thursday and Friday too. So again, next 7 days, besides tomorrow, it's bone dry. But tomorrow, here is the rainfall you are getting from Tuesday only, which is a good, healthy amount. Quarter of an inch to about a half an inch. That's no flash flooding concerns by any means, but it definitely soaks the ground a good bit. It's going to leave us with wet roadways throughout, throughout most of the morning hours. So please be careful, and don't forget the umbrella on the way to work at school here for your Tuesday. Now, again, that's the rainy day of the work week and throughout the next 7 days. So guess what? Next weekend, look forward to it already. Plenty of sunshine. We saw that this past weekend, but here's the big change. Look at those temperatures. Those temperatures, yes, your eyes do not deceive you. That is high temperatures in the lower 70s for both Saturday and Sunday. I believe, the Crew Centaur rolling it down. It's going to be tremendous weather for the Mardi Gras parades here for this coming weekend. Nice and comfortable and sunny, most importantly. It's truly a weekend to behold. You're welcome. 7-day forecast now for you. Again, Monday through Friday, looking nice here for the most part. You just got to watch out for the rain showers and storms coming throughout your Tuesday, mostly in the morning hours. But again, as we just discussed in the future track, there could be a few heavy rainfall type of storms there for you that still linger into Tuesday afternoon. Then we cool off with drier conditions in store for Wednesday and Thursday. Highs in the 50s, lows back down into the 30s there for your morning as well. And then you get into Friday. That's when we essentially trigger temperatures back up and above 70. And that continues on into the weekend with mornings in the 40s. Still chilly, but certainly some much more comfortable afternoons showing up and with plenty of sunshine. Our next major rain chance after Tuesday is looking to happen somewhere more towards the middle of next week. So it looks like a whole long, dry period of time. That is, again, once we get rid of our chance of storms here tomorrow, which, thankfully, again, are only bringing us rain, and they're not going to contain severe weather. I'm not expecting any type of weather alerts to come out of Tuesday at all. Just, again, be careful, and just grab the umbrella, and you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go. All right, so that was a look at the full forecast here for you. We're not done with this podcast. Today's Groundhog's Day. After this, we're just going to dive into the weather fun facts. We'll see how accurate meteorologist Groundhog Phil is in his forecast throughout the past, I believe, past century or so. This is a long tradition. We're going to dive into some of the cool facts all around Groundhog's Day, a weird weather holiday that we celebrate, I guess, here in the United States. Anyways, the point is, we'll dive into Groundhog's Day after this quick commercial break. Stick around. Welcome on back to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Again, I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. We had a full look at our forecast, but now let's dive into our exclusive content, which celebrates kind of a weird weather holiday. It is Groundhog's Day. It's February 2nd. Every year, the groundhog, Phil, Punxsutawney Phil, it's such a tricky word because that's the town he lives in, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, P-Town, P-State. It's kind of weird, not going to lie. But anyways, it's a wacky tradition that dates back several years. He's a meteorologist in his own form. Now, before we get into the weird facts about everything around his accuracy and how long it's lasted, people have always come up to ask me, especially on today, and be like, what are your thoughts on Phil as being a meteorologist? Well, it's a cool concept, don't get me wrong. It's cool to have a weatherman and a meteorologist that's not a human. But is he accurate? No. It's cool tradition. Just don't take him too seriously, especially because he hasn't seen the Arclitex forecast where we're getting much warmer. Because guess what, Punxsutawney Phil, he saw a shadow this morning. For those of you that again did not know, he does this prediction earlier in the morning. He sees he either sees a shadow or he doesn't see a shadow. Basically, as soon as the sun rises. And I don't even, this is the first year where I fully realized, like, all the preparations that go into the event, because we had a live stream throughout our morning show that was really cool to watch out in that town, where they're basically partying and celebrating the coming of the groundhog, like, early in the morning, because he sees his shadow just past, I believe it was just past 6 a.m. local time, or 6 a.m. Central Time, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. But essentially, these people they got the party going as early as like 5 in the morning their time. So kind of wild how early they get up in the morning to be able to put all that stuff on, which is just really impressive. Goes to show you here. But anyways, Phil, he saw a shadow. Which means 6 more weeks of winter. He's indicating that bad weather is happening. It's coming in with the cloud cover, which means more and more winter is ahead for us. 6 more weeks of winter on Groundhog's Day. But to go over some other themes behind this, again, this has been in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, since 1887. Just, this is a little town. For reference, this is north of Pittsburgh on the west side of the state of Pennsylvania. It's about an hour to 2 hours north of Pittsburgh, I believe. So it's kind of in that area. It's a middle nowhere town. A tradition, again, that dates back all the way back to the 1800s, technically, which means he's been on this for repeatedly over 138 years, which is kind of wild. And believe it or not, this is not like usually a 50-50 coin flip. He usually sees his shadow. It is counted now 110 out of 138 years, which means he's only not seen his shadow for 28 years. If I do the quick math, I didn't do the quick math on this, but that's less than 25%, I believe, that he sees his shadow. About 10 to 20% the chance of him predicting an early winter. So it's going to be a rare occurrence if he predicted an early spring. My bad. But he did not predict an early spring. Instead, it's a longer winter. Unfortunately for all of us sitting at home. And just last check of this, he is accurate 35 to 40% of the time throughout history. Again, this still goes consecutively over 140 years, so it's not like he's wrong. But for the most part, I think you can discount him as incorrect, unfortunately. So, hey, Phil, he's doing his best, but unfortunately he is obviously no meteorologist by any means. So maybe this is a good sign. I know people have been kind of disappointed, especially for those of you that have been kind of sick of the winter storm. You kind of just want the spring to come back, the warmer temperatures. We have that back in the Arclitex. And I know some people, again, are disappointed by Phil predicting 6 more weeks of winter. But if you want to take anything out of this, again, he is wrong actually most of the time. So this is what I should get to people. This is probably actually good news that he's predicting more weeks of winter, because what's going to happen is most likely the opposite. See what I'm saying? It's pretty cool. But anyways, that's a fun fact of Punxsutawney Phil. Little town, again, on February 2nd every single year, doing that tradition early in the morning. Congrats to the groundhog there, and may he enjoy the rest of his slumber here throughout winter. But anyways, Thank you very much for for watching the First Alert Weather Breakdown. That's all I got here for you for the day today. It's tomorrow, same time, same place. This time it will be meteorologist Jake Lambright hosting the episode here for your Tuesday. I will see you back here on Thursday. Here for the First Alert Weather Breakdown episode at 10:30. Same time, same place, same streaming service you're watching on. Again, just keep yourself weather aware, especially with the rain back here for tomorrow. But enjoy the warmer temperatures, much more comfortable out and about, and plenty of sunshine on the docket here, especially into next weekend. Just got to get, again, through that one round of storms targeting the Arklatex here for you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your Monday. Enjoy your work week. Good luck this work week. You can do it. Trust me. You got this. Anyways. Have a good one. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. Again, next episode's tomorrow, 10:30, same time, same place. Be there. Be square. Most importantly, stay weather aware. Have a great rest of your day.